There's another important issue to discuss before we get started, and that is, can the prophecies in Revelation be fulfilled twice? As of yet, I am not familiar with any prophecies in the Bible that have been fulfilled twice. I would like for you to realize how unlikely this really is from several standpoints. First of all, no one could convince me that the Father would leave His covenant Torah-observant children, who would be called to spill their blood by the millions as martyrs, without a roadmap to follow over the last 1900 years. And this is exactly why the book of Revelation was given to John at the time it was given to him. And he was told not to seal up the words of the prophecies. Those apostolic Torah-observant believers in John's day needed a sure word from the Almighty, from someone they trusted, that would reveal to them their immediate future and a timeline for the return of Messiah. And don't think these people didn't understand John's words. After all, they understood them better than most of the majority of churchmen today, because the code it was written in, the elders could interpret, because they knew their Tanakh. It uses the same code words. After all, let us not forget, according to Amos 3:7, the Almighty does nothing without revealing His secrets unto His servants, the prophets. I have come to the personal opinion, after reviewing how most of the book of Revelation has already been fulfilled, that you cannot take prophesied judgments out of their divine order in Revelation, or break them up and reapply them to some future day once they have already been fulfilled. And it is improbable for all of these prophecies to happen again in the same order as they have been being fulfilled in the last 1900 years in a short time frame of 3.5 years. Understand that the prophecies were actually recorded by John in the exact order they were going to be divinely fulfilled by Yahuwah, starting in John's day with the 4 horses of the apocalypse, which represent the first 4 broken seals. And like a daisy chain, the judgments are all connected together, one right after the other. Further proof is the fact that once the 7th seal of judgment is broken, it actually contains the 7 trumpets. And the 7th trumpet of judgment, once blown, begins the 7 bowls being poured out. So you see, the order is divinely established. And once you see how both world history and church history are associated with each of the fulfilled judgments, you will clearly understand how the judgments are all connected and fulfilled in the order they were given to John. This will ultimately answer the most important question: where are we today in the timeline, and what is still yet to be fulfilled? I believe Father doesn't want us to be ignorant of this knowledge. Prophecy can only be viewed in 2020 vision in hindsight, once it has been fulfilled. Anything future can only be speculated on as to when and how Father will carry it out. And there is way too much evidence to prove that Revelation started being fulfilled in the day of the existence of the 7 churches of Asia Minor. After all, that's whom the messenger told John to give the prophecy to. One of the main reasons why the Protestant church jumps into the futurist camp is because of their ignorance of both church history and world history. The second reason as to why these prophecies cannot happen twice is a principle called the law of first mentioned, or the law of first occurrence, established by Benjamin Newton in the 1800s. This principle of interpretation states that the first mention or occurrence of a matter in Scripture establishes an unchangeable pattern, meaning that the truth, once divinely established by Yahuwah's word, cannot be altered. Consequently, this is the reason to take any verse back to its original language in order to establish its proper meaning and truth. A.T. Pearson, in the 19th century, also called this principle the divine law of first. These principles can also be applied to biblical prophecy. For once a prophecy has been given by the Almighty, and the prophecy comes to pass, it has been established in history by virtue of the fact it has been fulfilled. I'm Bill Sanford, trying to put the book of Revelation into proper perspective in our day.